Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ahead of the Curve, a fat fashion web series hosted by me, Marcy Cruz. I am the Director of Fashion Industry Relations at NAAFA, and I'm happy to be with you all today in this digital space. I'm dialing in from New York City, and we always do a land acknowledgement. And where I am, I reside on Lenape tribal land. And if you're with us live, we encourage you to introduce yourselves to each other in the chat and say where you are and whose land that you live on. And if you don't know, you could just Google whose land is this, and you'll find websites that can help you in that instance. So definitely check that out. Today's episode, I'm very excited. I have model Katie Brown, who is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know you're a size 26. But I think you did do size 28 as well.
Yeah, I sort of teeter between 24, 26, 28, depending on the brand.
Yes, definitely. So I'm happy to have you so that we can talk about all things modeling from an extended size perspective. And you reside in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
So what land do you live on?
I live on, so sorry, I should have had this pulled up.
It's okay. Okay. If you can't find it, I could do it for you if you want.
Yeah, I'm like, I had it, and then it went away.
I got you, girl. I got you.
Close.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Kickapoo land.
Yes.
Is where you reside in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
So before we get into today's content, I'd like to introduce our interpreters from Pro Bono ASL. We have Nathanael and Briani. And, they do important accessibility work. And we're just so appreciative of Pro Bono ASL to be here. Please find them on your favorite social media channels or visit their website at probonoasl.com. So for those of you new to NAAFA, we've been working hard to make the world a better place for fat people since 1969. We do that work through education, advocacy, and support. And you can learn more about what we do at our website, NAAFA.org, or by following us on your favorite social media channels. We're at NAAFA Official. So anyway, let's get into it. Katie Brown.
Yes.
From a very young age, you say you loved fashion.
Yes.
And you wanted to be a part of the fashion industry. You even went as far as to get a college degree in fashion merchandising. Congrats to you.
Thank you.
And, you began to take on modeling gigs and, you gained the attention of Natural Models, LA, a major agency that later signed you.
Yeah.
Congrats for that.
Thank you.
And, you've worked with brands such as Torrid, Universal Standard, Alpine Butterfly Swim, and Poppy Row. And, as an extended sizes model, you are breaking barriers within the industry. And I want you to know that, because the industry is still not fully size inclusive. And they're in need of more size and body representation. You are proof that models above a size 22 can be successful, as well as showing the importance of brands featuring models of different shapes and sizes in order to help customers gauge how the clothing will fit on an array of bodies. So everyone, you can follow Katie at Instagram at @A_Katie Brown. And it's KATIEBROWN. And then you have an online portfolio over at Natural Models LA, which we'll post the link later on. I'll do it myself. So anyway, you can see I'm gonna admit something. I'm a little nervous talking to you because I have been following you for a while. So if I seem a little off, that is why. And I want to say you've been so nice and so cordial and just amazing. And I want to thank you for that, because not everyone in this industry is approachable. And I'm saying that as someone who's been in the industry over 20 years. Yeah, I started when I was 2. So we'll just, get that clear right there. So I just want to say, so excuse me if I,
No,
make a little error here.
you're gonna make me cry. I'm sorry to cry. That was one of the nicest things. Thank you. That means a lot to me.
You're very welcome. I believe in giving people their flowers
Thank you.
in the present and not after the fact. So anyway, you say, like I mentioned, you've loved fashion since you were a kid.
Mhm.
And I want to know, how did your journey and your love for fashion lead you to start modeling? And how did the agency discover you?
Yeah, so I started loving fashion probably when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I would say, when I was playing Barbies. Like I wouldn't play Barbies. Like I would dress her in a cute outfit. I'd look at her and be like, oh, that looks cute. Okay, let me do another outfit.
Mhm.
So it was always this like passion for me and like a hobby that I enjoyed. But truthfully, I wanted to be a pharmacist from like fifth grade until my junior year of high school. I did my first fashion marketing class in high school. And I loved it. I thrived in it. And my teacher pulled me aside at the end of the class one day and was like, have you ever thought about, being in the industry? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't know. And she was like, I really think that you need to consider it. And it was almost like a light switch moment for me. And I was like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like, this is going to be my life. And yeah. And so I saw her like a year after I graduated high school. And she was like, are you in school? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, are you studying fashion? I was like, yeah. She goes, good. That's exactly where you need to be. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. But I did so sort of fast forward, I did my summer internship in LA back in 2019. And I was working for a brand called Poppy Row. And one of my good friends, she owns it, Crystal. She's amazing. We did some shoots for her, and one of her fit models, Renee, came along, and Renee was like, have you ever thought about modeling? And I was like, I like taking pictures on Instagram, but I don't know if that's something that I would want to do. And she's like, I really think you need to consider it. So she showed my picture to the owner of Alpine Butterfly Swim. And I get this text and was like, hey, like, we want you to be in our new swimwear shoot. Well, at this point, I think I was 25, 24. I had not been in a bathing suit in front of anybody, even my family, since I was probably 12.
Wow. Wow.
So the thought of being in a bathing suit in front of a whole crew of people, even just like we shot on the beach and like on a, public with people, I was like, this is terrifying for me. I'm scared. And I told myself when I moved to LA, I was like, this is going to be your summer of yes. Like, you have to say yes to every opportunity that gets presented to you. So yeah, so I said, let's do it. Why not? So that was sort of the start of everything, and amazing experience. I mean, I've never been so complimented and encouraged when I went on that shoot. I was like, I feel like any other girl in a bathing suit. I don't feel like I'm plus size. I feel like I'm beautiful, and I'm meant to be here. So I came back to Texas. I moved back, and I was like, I really feel like this is something I want to do. But again, I was like, I'm scared to apply to some of these modeling agencies because I'm scared. I have this really big thing with rejection as well.
Yes, I know, but I totally get it, but you constantly had these people telling you,
I know.
you have to be a model, and you were getting in your own way.
I know. And
And
so
I'm glad that you see that now, because a lot of times when we're meant to do something, we get in our own way.
right.
We do the negative talk. And then I always feel like the universe or whatever higher being that you believe in will constantly throw people and opportunities in your life
Oh, 100%.
until the light bulb goes off. You
Right.
already had like 3 or 4 people tell you.
I know. I think it was the fear. So I was like sort of teetering back and forth. And I heard of Natural Models when I was in LA. And I was like, this would be one of the top agencies that I would want to work with. I mean, they have, they're amazing. So a few months later, I got a DM in my Instagram. It was like from Naturals, and they were like, have you ever thought, about modeling? Would you ever do something like that professionally? And I was like, maybe, yeah, I would. And yeah, I mean, I really do think it was like an answered prayer, I definitely think it was something like that. So very cosmic, magical.
Yes, definitely. Oh, and I just want to explain the difference between being assigned model versus freelance. We're going to do like a little educational moment, because I feel like there are people that don't understand, and rightfully so. It's not something that is like
Right.
normally talked about, all the time. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're assigned to an agency, your agent is the one that sends you out, finds you work, and negotiate your rate.
Yes.
They do get 20, I think it's 20%. I know my agent gets 20% because I'm signed to state as a fit model.
I think that's pretty
So
cool. Yeah.
yeah, my agent gets 20%. But the pro of being signed to an agency is that a lot of the major brands like Torrid, like Target, Fashion to Figure, all of these major brands, they usually go to agencies for models because they're not sitting there going through Instagram trying to discover someone. They just go directly to who they feel are experts, and they go right to the agency, and then they get models that way. That's not to say that with freelance modeling, you do everything yourself.
Yeah.
You're applying for jobs, you're basically your own manager, you're negotiating your own rates. But the pro to that is you're not giving anyone 20%. You're taking home all your money. But however, you may get paid less than an agency signed model. So I don't say one is better than the other, because I feel like it really depends on where you want to go and who you want to work for.
Absolutely.
Because I know freelance models like Christina Mendez, who I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's been in the game for like 15 years. She's never been signed to an agency. And she's been successful. She's worked for Ashley Stewart. She's worked for QVC. She has a regular gig at QVC where she's on TV, but that's not the norm,
Right.
And it was hard work for her in the beginning. So so I just say that because I know that there are a lot of people who are aspiring models, and that's not to say you can't be a model if you really believe in it and you feel like it's your calling, but you really have to decide, do I want to sign to an agency or do I want to be freelance?
Absolutely.
And if you want to work on the level of a Target, you might want to get signed to an agency, but
Right.
So did I say that correctly?
I think, yeah, beautifully.
Okay. So speaking of being, like I mentioned, I'm a signed fit model. I have to admit, for me, like there were times when like I was in a room with like smaller models. Like I worked for Universal Standard for their fit, and they would do like size runs, and it would be every size, all the models lined up. And I was always at the end. This was before they expanded beyond the 2XL, which is the 3032.
Right.
So I used to feel intimidated standing at the end, and I'm looking down the line and I see, models thinner than I. But then I realized I'm in this room because I'm meant to be here, just as much as they are. And so, it's like help with, for me, and even for you too, we're helping women above a size 24 see how the clothing is going to fit on them, which I think is so important, right?
Yes.
But we're still left out of the conversation, which really like drives me crazy that this is $1 billion industry and women above a size 24 are still left out of the conversation. We're still not seen. Even though there's, the term size inclusive is so popular. And I say quotes because it's been redefined so many times, and the true, definition of it has been ignored. Inclusive means all, and I swear every time I see size inclusive, my eye twitches. I just hate it. So, how has your experience in the fashion industry been, as a size 26, 28 model? And how do you navigate that world? Like, how do you stay positive?
Right. So I think when I got signed, I was like, I'm being model, I'm being like so confident and everything. And I am, but I do have my moments. I think when I'm on set and you do see, typical like 14 to 16, 18 to 20 models, it's like, I'm still like not, I don't look like that, and the majority of the models, plus size models do. And so it's still hard. But the first big campaign that I shot, I met my friend Maria, and I was sort of telling her a little bit how I felt like a small fish in the ocean, because it was so new to me. And she was sort of like, she's like, Katie, I just want to let you know, you booked this job just like I booked this job, just like she booked this job. And I was like, like I think about that every time I go on a set, and I'm like, I'm here, like I'm meant to be here for a reason. I also have on my vision board that's in my room. I look at it every night, but right in the middle, I have this quote that it says, you need to walk into that room like God sent you into this room. And that's it. I think about that. It's almost like my mantra. Like I think about that every time I go on a set. Like, you need to walk in that room like you're meant to be in that room, because you are meant to be in that room. You are no different than any other girl here. And that's something that I take with me everywhere I go, because it's really hard. I think you do get in your head sometimes. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, and I think we also have to realize and remind ourselves that no one's perfect.
Yeah.
Even that size 14 model.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And I think that's amazing. See, now look, your first lesson was what? You had all your fear was holding you back. And now look what happened. You said yes.
Yeah.
And then the second one, you're in the room because you belong there.
Right.
So you should write a book. I'm just saying. But anyway, go on. Okay.
Realistic odds ears.
So, like we're talking about, representation is just so important.
Yeah.
And your presence in modeling is furthering that message. And I want you to know that, because it's very rare to see someone your size out there working for major brands. There are so many women out there that are our size that want to be models. So you are kind of like that beacon of hope, for them. So I want to know, how does it feel to know that like you're important to the movement and you're an inspiration to these women, because they're seeing a body that looks like theirs?
Yeah, it's well, I think there's a lot of pressure that comes with it, but I'm so incredibly blessed and I'm so incredibly grateful. I've since early college, I was like, I do feel like it's like my purpose in life is to just really like let women know or let people know that they're so important. It doesn't matter what you look like or what size you are, like you're important, you matter, like you're here for a purpose. Like if you wake up breathing the next day, it's because you're meant to be here. And so it's overwhelming sometimes to think about it. To be called an inspiration is overwhelming, but I'm so grateful. And I'm gonna try not to cry. Like I'm trying not to get too emotional, but it's amazing. Thank you so much for saying. It really means like the world to me. I can't tell you how much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Because I know how it is, women who are considered, the industry calls it extended sizes, non-traditional body types, because they put out these models, like Tabria Majors is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. But not everyone has her body. She's got that hourglass, the small waist, the wide hips. She's got the flat tummy. She's got maybe one back fat roll, you know what I mean? Like,
She's,
so
she's an amazing person too. So
yeah, no, she's great,
personality match.
beautiful. She's amazing. However, she's not the norm.
Right.
No, she,
Exactly.
like someone has said to me once, like, it's like she feeds the fantasy in a sense,
Hmm.
but the fantasy is changing.
Right.
People want to see more. They don't want to just see her body type. They want to see her body type, but they want to see other body types. Like,
Right.
why can't we see them all and
Right.
not just one?
Exactly. I think it's so important to remember that everybody's beautiful, and yeah, it doesn't matter what size you are. Like literally everybody is beautiful, and we need to celebrate the beauty in every single size.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So I want to know, because I'm always talking about like what brands should expand.
Mhm.
What brands would you love to see expand sizes? And who would you like to work with? Who are like your dream brands to work with?
So I would love to see Zara expand their line.
Mm.
I don't understand why they haven't done it already. It's wild to me that they have not ventured into plus sizes. It's Yeah, but I will say they did do a collab with Good American,
And it
and,
went up to a 30.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it did go up to a 30. And I went, so they had it on in store and online, and I went to my like nearest Zara store. And like to be able to go into a Zara store and like just anywhere really in general and pick something off the rack is like amazing. And I was like, why is this? Like, I was standing in like a 45-minute line because that's how it always is at Zara. And I
Right.
was thinking, I was like, why is this special? And like, you saw girls with like, I mean, like mounds of clothes like on their arms. And I just had like a pair of jeans and a tank top. And I
Mm.
was like, why is this so special for me to come into a store and shop? Like that shouldn't be special. That should be like an everyday thing. And it's sort of like, so I was excited to get my stuff, but then again, it made me reflect on like, I shouldn't have to feel like this is a special occurrence because it shouldn't be like that.
No, it
And
should, because clothing's a basic need.
exactly. It should never be like, oh, I'm celebrating because no, like it shouldn't be like that at all. So I would love to see Zara. I think they're so trendy and so cool. And all my friends shop at Zara. So I would love to be able to shop at Zara. And sometimes they make silhouettes that are a little bit bigger, but like they're blazers and stuff, oversized, but like it's not proportional to a plus size figure. So I love
Right.
to see Zara expand their clothing line. Aloe Yoga is another one that a lot of my friends love, but they only go up to an extra, extra large, I believe.
Mm.
And I just don't really know how in this day and age you only go up to like an extra large or an extra, extra large. I'm like, what? It's just bizarre to me.
Like Sheen. I don't know
Right.
if you pronounce it Shein.
And yeah.
Their 4XL translates to a 20. And then they expanded sizes, but they launched it as a separate section called Fit Plus.
Oh, okay.
It's so weird. And then the sizes are not like the Fit Plus
Hmm.
is not across the site. It's not like they expanded their sizes on everything. They just said, okay, if you're fat and you're above a 20, you
Hmm.
could only have these 68 items.
Oh, for sure.
And they're not, I want the cool stuff that they're doing.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they're doing collabs. Like they had a Care Bears collab. Listen, I know I'm old. Well, it's
No.
subjective, but I still want some Care Bear stuff. Why
Right.
can't I get it in my size? Okay.
That's how I
But
feel about Sailor Moon.
you're willing to create a whole separate collection that
Right.
goes up to a five. I think it's a 5X. They go up to, I think, size 36 now. Like they
Oh, okay.
really, but it's a separate collection.
Mhm.
Some of the stuff is not cute.
Yeah.
I
So
want the cute stuff, but it's
mhm.
only a size 20. Like I'm confused. I
This
don't.
is how I feel too. I love Target. Don't get me wrong. I love Target, and they have tons more online, but in store, like my local Target, I'll go in there in their plus size section. I mean, cannot be more than like 8 racks of stuff. And it's like, not even like anything what they would have in like the straight sizes. I mean, you have hundreds of racks in straight sizes, and then you have this tiny plus size section. And I was talking to one of my best friends about it, and she was like, and she's straight size, she's probably like a size 8. She's like, Katie, I never thought about like them saying, you're not welcome here, but we'll give you this little amount of space and you're welcome in this space.
In the back, in the corner.
Right. And she's like, I've never thought about it. And I was like, yeah, because you never had to like go through it. And yeah, so I was just sort of telling her about it. And I was like, it makes you feel like you're not worth all the good stuff. You're worth this tiny section.
Exactly. And this is why, like, for me, when I go on fit gigs,
Mm-hmm.
I am flapping my mouth. They must say this girl has a big mouth, because I talk about so much stuff. And it's funny because when I started working at Universal Standard, doing their fit, like, I actually became like, I don't want to say friends, but like, I would have like these long conversations with Alex Waldman, who owns it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she would ask me questions, and it was interesting. We didn't always agree on
Mm-hmm.
things, but what I liked about talking to her was that she would always be willing to listen.
Yeah.
And even if she doesn't agree with you, it would be a learning experience for her.
Right.
You know, because she never even knew that there was like a community out there for us, because in her world, you know, before Universal Standard, she was a journalist and she used to cover like New York Fashion Week. She was in that world where there were no fat people,
right?
You know, and she's a size 20 to 24. And she just, you know, so she never even knew there was a community. And when she found out that there was like a whole community, she said it like it was exciting to her, because, you know, it's a space where we can be accepted. Now, there's not to say that the community is perfect, but, you know, it's people like you, people like me, people, you know, Tigress, you know, Chair NAAFA, like, you know, we all do our part in trying to make the community a safe place.
Yeah.
You know, for everyone.
Because I did not grow up with like plus size friends, and I was like the only one. And so being tossed sort of into this and finding those girls that I can have common ground with, they're like, no, I've been there too, has been amazing. So for everything that y'all are doing, and is so appreciated and so amazing and necessary.
Thank you. I mean, you know, and it's hard because even trying to explain to how we call like women who are plus, who are small, we just call them smaller fats. You know, I try to explain to them that they have size privilege, even though they're plus size.
Right.
You know, you have size privilege, because if you're a size 18, like today in the year 2022, you can shop at the Gap at a size 18. Like size 18 now is the average American woman. 68% of women in America are size 18 or larger, right? So a size 18 has become yesterday's size 12, 14.
Yeah.
Yesterday's size 10, you know? So they can shop in straight size stores.
Right.
I think even Zara goes up to an 18, if I'm not mistaken, or something, or they go up to a 16 or something like that.
18 maybe.
Yeah. So, you know, it's hard because then it's like some of us get left behind.
Right.
You know, and so we're still fighting for that right, you know, and everyone's fight is different, you know, but we're all trying to push for that, because why should one segment of people have that privilege over another when clothing is a basic need?
Exactly.
You know, someone said that to me on Facebook, like, what if someone has a job interview and they're a size 26 and they're going to have a hard time finding a suit that fits them?
Oh, exactly.
You know, and that's just an example. Clothing shouldn't be a privilege.
No, not exactly. You know, I was telling my mom too, I was like, you know, even in the modeling world, sometimes I feel like, you know, if you're an 18 to 20, that's acceptable. And like anything past a 20 is still or maybe 24, maybe, but is a little bit still taboo and still like unacceptable to look that way in the fashion industry.
Oh yeah, and also, but a lot of people blame brands, and they are partly to blame for that. But it's also the consumer, because a brand will try, they will post a picture of someone who is a size 24, 26, right? And a lot of the comments will be negative, and it would be other plus size women saying, "Oh, that's not flattering," which I hate that word, flattering.
I
Oh,
I do too.
oh my gosh, I hate that word.
Stand it.
Listen, I'm a copywriter during the day for a plus size fashion brand, which shall remain nameless. And I already laid down the rules. I will never use the word flattering. I will never use the term size inclusive, because sometimes I write quotes for like magazine articles and stuff.
Okay.
And in the media world, the term size inclusive means if they're carrying up to a size 28, or if they're carrying straight size and plus size. And I say, no, that's not what size inclusive means. And I'm not using the term. So they already know, you're not pushing me on that.
Right.
So flattering is on like, that no list for me. I cannot. And so you see the comments. Oh, that's not flattering. Oh, I don't want to see that. Oh, it's just very negative. So a lot of times when brands see that, they shy away from posting bodies like that, the non-traditional bodies.
Right.
And that's why we have to push back, and we have to do better. If you see that, call it out. Like I shouldn't be arguing with people on the internet, but sometimes I get like really pissed off.
Yeah.
And and I say, you're a plus size woman yourself. Like, why are you, insulting your sister? That's like your sister right there, your fat sister.
Right.
And so it's hard. It goes both ways. And I think that it's changing the narrative. It's, trying to educate people and really push back. And we have a few influencers out there that use their platforms. They love fashion, so they use it for activism to push that message. I'm here, I'm fat, I'm a size 28, 30, and I'm here. And you may not like my body, but so what? I'm here. And I'm
Right.
just as worthy as someone who is a size 14. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't even understand why anybody would comment on anybody's body anyway on the internet. That is wild to me.
yes. That's a whole other episode. I may have you back for that.
Yeah, we can talk about that all day. I don't understand it at all. But I don't understand a negative comment. I'm like, why would you? It's crazy.
And someone mentioned in the chat, and it is totally true, that, saying the person said internalized fat phobia and sexism. Correct. And dealing with our issues by putting them on other people. It's total projection.
Right.
Oh, exactly. You're showing how you feel about yourself. So.
Oh yeah. Exactly. And that's what you have to remember too. If you ever get anything like that, it's like, I'm so sorry that your life must be that miserable to have to comment on me.
Yeah. So anyway, we've come to the last question. What's your advice to aspiring models, your size and larger, who would like to be signed to an agency or, want to work as a freelance model or work with major brands? What would be your advice?
My advice is to, first of all, never let anyone stop you from, if that is your dream, go for it. Do not let anybody, their opinions, their advice ever stop you from doing what you want to be doing. I think second of all, I have this like love-hate relationship with social media. I will say though, it's given such a big platform to women who look like me, to get in front of the camera whenever you can, be posting on social media, as much as you possibly can, whether, it's different outfits or beauty or whatever it may be. Just keep putting yourself out there and never let anyone like dull your shine, because you're so important. You're so needed. Please keep.
That's right. Amen. That's right. Yes. And about the pictures, Test.
Yes.
Okay. I have a friend who's a photographer and a model, and she says it all the time, and when I say test, I mean getting in front of the camera,
Yeah.
shooting with different photographers, learning your angles, um, learning how to pose, because even larger bodies, we're flexible, you
Right.
know, and we may have our limits, some of us may have our limits, but you make your body work for you, and
Right.
you learn how to move and be comfortable in front of the camera,
Mhm.
and you'll be fabulous. That's what I believe. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you put in the hard work, you're going to see an amazing outcome, is what I've always lived by.
yes, yes. So this is the time we're gonna see if anyone has questions. So to our audience, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat for Katie, and she'll answer your questions. And we can chat while we wait if
I know. I
anyone
was
has
like, I
any
feel like I need
questions.
to Jeopardy, like, dude, you know?
I need like some music, like some game show music or something,
Oh, that
or
would be
elevator
amazing.
music. That would be kind of cool. But is there, well, I would love to ask you, like, what was your best brand experience as a model?
Oh my, I will say all the brands that I worked with have been amazing. And I was so afraid of like you meet all these people that are like, have been in the industry so long, you're like, I don't know how to talk to somebody, you know what I mean? But everyone has been amazing. I will say with Torrid, I did their model search when I was 21 back in 2015. I think they did like a face of the week or something each week, and I got one of the faces of the week. Well, they didn't pick me in the end, but and it's just crazy to think that all these like 7 years later that I would be modeling for them professionally. It's crazy. So I think it's to another one of my like maybe advice would be just because maybe your no really means not yet.
Yes.
Something that I like sort of also live by. So I'm like, even if maybe I get a no right now, that just means not yet. So it took me 7 years to do it. So I have a really special place in my heart for Tori, just because that was also one of the first plus size stores I ever went into. I remember when I was in 7th grade, I bought a Hello Kitty shirt and I wore that thing to death. I wore it all the time, but it was like one of the things that I could wear that was, I think this was when Delia's was popular. And it was,
Yes, I remember Delia's.
it was similar to Delia's. And I was like, I can wear it and look like my friend. This is amazing. So um, yeah, they have a very special place in my heart, and their team is amazing. Everyone there. So very lucky.
Yeah, Torrid was my saving grace also.
Yeah.
And I think it was for a lot of people who were looking for, graphic tees. Like
Right.
I still shop from them, like to get my graphic tees,
Mhm.
because it's so hard to find graphic tees in a 4X and above that fit well,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, unless you want to do custom. Because a lot of times, like, these t-shirt companies, they use like the men's unisex. And sometimes I
Yeah.
want a V-neck,
Right.
or, a nice neckline, or
Right. The unisex. I'm like, I like the straight. I'm like, I'm so the opposite of that shape. I'm like, I can't wear it.
so I don't think anyone has any questions. I think that they've just been enjoying listening to you, s- which I have too.
Thank you.
Um, and I just want to know if there's anything else that you want to say, or to the audience, to me, um, about your experience as a model, or just anything. If there's anything else you want to close the show with.
I am so honored. I am so honored to be here and so blessed. I just can't thank you enough for having me and giving me a platform to share my experience. I really do feel like even though, being a model is important, also being an advocate for you know, our community is just as equally as important. And I really can't thank you enough. I honestly don't feel like I have the words. So thank you so much. I can't thank you enough,
You're
really.
very welcome. And I think that we haven't seen the last of you. I think this is just the beginning.
Thank you.
And if I could help you with anything, you know, I'm here. So I always say, I know people who know people who know people. So, so definitely, I think that this is a perfect case of using your privilege for good. So, and in your case, your privilege is you have your foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're signed to an agency, you've worked with major brands. So this is your way of getting in that room and
Right.
kind of, you know, helping the cause and the movement. And I always tell people, like every single one of us has privilege. Um, even though you may not think you do, there's something. And
Right.
it could be anything. It could be straight hair privilege. It
Right.
could be, you know, it could be anything. Something that you have that maybe someone else doesn't. And I always say there's always an opportunity to use your privilege for good. So I want to thank you for that.
You're amazing. I can't.
So,
Thank you.
so anyway, before we sign off, we want to give thanks to the people at Pro Bono ASL because they are incredible. We have Nathanael and Brioni, and we want to say thank you. And we want to, let's see, oh, August is going to be exciting for NAAFA. And I just want to just interject that. It is Fat Liberation Month, y'all. It is going down, okay? So definitely visit us at NAAFA.org. Visit our social media channels at NAAFA Official to see what is going down in August, because we are going to have a month chock full of programming, spotlights. I mean, it's going to be amazing. I know I can't wait. I'm hyped because next month's episode of Ahead of the Curve is going to be dedicated to influencers who use their platforms and fashion as a form of activism. So I hope that you guys will tune in. And just want to say you can follow Katie. Her information is in the chat, just in case. It's at _Katie Brown. And also, I think Darlene put in the chat your link to your portfolio online at the Natural Models LA website. And like I said, you could find us at NAAFA.org. And just want to say, we offer these webinars free of charge to FAT community and FAT supporters of all sizes. And we are able to do that through the generous support of people like you. So to support more programming like this, visit NAAFA.org/give to contribute. And that's it. It's a wrap, folks. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Katie, for being here. And I'm just excited and happy to have you. Anyway, take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.